Left Wing Kingz. Listen, think, act, repeat. Homelessness. This is a complex issue. It's got many different causes like lack of affordable housing, mental illness, even addiction. We talked about that before in our opioid episode with Pastor V. Now, in recent years, the number of people experiencing homelessness in the United States has been on a rise. So it's going up crazy. I'm going to let my queen here kind of get into some of the specifics about what's going on with the homeless epidemic in our country, and then we'll go from there.
Yes. So homelessness is not a new topic. I'm going to go back first in 2020 before COVID and talk about some statistics and then how we have moved forward from there. Actually, it's been an increase in homelessness since then. So first, approximately about 580,000 people experiencing homelessness. That's quite a bit. As you can see, 63% are in emergency shelters or transitional housing. We got 37% were unsheltered and living in places not meant for human habitation. So the 37% that you're seeing, like the ones on the corners begging you for money, the ones in transit just walking down the street. So about 37% of those people are out there. So we got chronic homelessness. Approximately 15% mean they experience long-term homelessness and often had disabling conditions. So what leads to, or the question is like, why is this happening? We've increased now since 2023 about 30%. So you're looking at 580,000. Y'all go ahead and do the math yourselves. 30% increase since then. So we already, looking at quite a few people that are impacted. So when I was reading, it basically says like your economic factors, like you said, affordable housing. As we know, like some of our houses have actually, some of our, the housing ability, people who have college degrees and, they can't afford the house anymore. So you got people just out there just trying to live. Income inequality, what we've been fighting for day in and day out. Again, you got some couples where just one person is working in the home and they can't afford homes. A lot of time that causes some problems. A lot of the youth leave at an early age. They can't take care of themselves and they end up on the street. Job loss. Of course, after 2020, a lot of people lost their jobs. People are still losing jobs. Mm-hmm. And again, if you don't have income, then how do you afford these homes? So just looking at that family breakdown, of course, we're looking at, only one person households. A lot of times that's an income, right? Stress for most people. And then health issues. We got mental health. We already talked about that last week. And we're not addressing those issues. So we're seeing just an increase of people on the street.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think a lot of people realize how close they are to homelessness, especially if you live in paycheck to paycheck. You have no backup plan. You just, like you said, getting terminated, you're some kind of crisis, a health crisis or whatever, away from being in that predicament. So, yeah, when you go over those stats online, you just hear it. It just brings a lot of things to mind. I got a friend of mine, a childhood friend of mine, and it's funny. I ran to him a couple of days ago, and he's not homeless, thank God. He's living in a relative's home. But it makes me think about the conversation we're having. He was talking about getting employment, and he's like, "I'm going to the hospital so I can have some documentation on who I am, so I can take that down, so I can get an ID." Wow. Mm-hmm. So some of the things I think we take for granted, like having an ID, to be able to get a job, a lot of people are in these predicaments, which lead to homelessness. So that's just, when you're going over that, man, to just maybe think about him in this situation, like how far are we off of actually being homeless, and and how many people are just one paycheck away of finding themselves there. So that's sad.
One thing that I know is that from, looking at the financial side of things, there's a recommendation that you have 3 months of your pay in savings, at least. Just in case there's like an emergency situation or something happens or you lose your job, because job loss is happening like crazy right now. I mean, there's a lot of companies out there that are, after COVID, are doing transformations and laying people off, or whatever terminology you want to use. So it don't even have to be because of your own actions. You can just lose your job because your company wants to cut expenses or whatever. Yeah. Next thing you know, you don't got no money. You live in paycheck to paycheck. You out there on the streets, man.
Yeah.
And one thing too that makes it kind of difficult for people in this situation, in the homeless situation, is where do you go for help? Like, how do you know what resources are out there and where to go? Like, because if you on the streets, do you have a cell phone that you can look up, and you have, internet access where you can look up stuff? Like, we can look up, hey, I need, to go to whatever.com and try to figure out, a place to stay or whatever. Like, there's resources out there.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, how are they supposed to get help?
Yeah, I mean, and it's even like, we ain't got no ID, you can't get no library card, so you can't go to the library and look up stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, little things that we may be in position, like if we feel bad on our luck, we got these fall throughs. Like, all right, I can go to the library. I ain't got no phone, I can go to the library, or I can get a cricket phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, you got options. But if you're homeless, you ain't got those options, man. You just, you living hand to fist. You know what I'm saying? It ain't, so that's what I was thinking. I was like, man, you can't even get no ID.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crucial. That's
Yeah.
crucial. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? You ain't got no ID, so you can't even go get your birth certificate.
Nope.
So you can go get your ID.
Nope.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just,
The vicious cycle, man.
it's a vicious cycle. So I gotta go, and what he was telling me, hey, I gotta go to the hospital, like the emergency room. So they'll list me down as a real person, and then I'll take that receipt
Wow.
to go get my ID. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Because I was like, you got health insurance? Like, nah, I just go to the emergency room. They gotta take me.
Yeah.
I find out who I am, then I can go get a ID. Then I can go get a job. Then I can get some insurance. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but like, he's so far behind the 8 ball. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't even think about that. Like, like I said, if something happens to me, I got fall throughs. Okay, I can do this, or I can do that, or I can do that. But nah, man, you can't do nothing. So then you end up in a situation where you're homeless. If you can't prove who you are, then you can't go get no house.
Yeah.
Right.
Can't go get no apartment.
Can't get a job.
Yeah.
Because you don't have an ID.
There you go. That's,
Yeah. So on, just to let you know, www.tpr.org, I got information on just San Antonio. So those people who are more concerned about, that's the world, right? 580,000 increased by 30%. But in San Antonio right now, there is 3,155. So it's about a 5.3% increase from last year, it said. Dallas has the highest homeless population, and Texas has around about 26,000 people who are homeless currently. We were talking about what can they do. Like
Right.
we, the people who are not homeless, have to help the homeless because the homeless can't help themselves. So a good website is www.sanantonio.gov. There is a plethora, it's my favorite word, plethora of resources.
I can't spell that word either.
There's a plethora of resources for
I
them.
kind of sort of know what it means, but I can't spell it.
A lot of resources for the homeless. And which is sad because I'm thinking they don't know this because they can't go on www.sa.gov and
Can't
look
get
at
in the library.
Right. They don't have the information. So who's going to help the homeless is me, you, and everybody around here. That's who helps the homeless. So just a couple of things. I looked up, there's permanent and supportive housing. So meaning they will pay their rent. They have bought up homes for homeless people, and they help you
wow.
get jobs and kind of get you set up pretty much. Not to stay in the system, but actually get your foot, on stable ground so then you can move forward and purchase your own home later on.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of those things going on. But again, I'm like, how does a homeless person know that? Like they walking around with a cell phone?
No.
So we as the people need to make sure that we're helping that. Do know there is also now a law in Texas. It's a state law banning homeless encampments. If you don't know what an encampment is, it's basically a location where a group of individuals will be, with the tents and have a large amount of
Like under the bridge.
Yes.
They banning encampments.
That's banned. It says since September 1st.
That was one of
now
my fallback
Texas.
plans.
Yeah.
I figured out.
You didn't do that, sir.
I'm gonna find me a spot under that damn bridge,
No,
right
no
on
bridge.
Marbach, right there. I know that neighborhood.
Real talk. It's House Bill 1925. That passed. So it makes camping in an approved public area a Class C misdemeanor, which may sound minor. But again, if you don't have money and you're being charged up to $500 fines, that goes for that individual as well as the people who are helping them. So like what Danielle, which will come in here and talk about as far as how can we help them? It's real difficult when they're in an encampment because it's actually against the law. So that's a Texas state law. It's encampment abandonment.
Oh, didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. So I read it. But
That's
now,
crazy, huh?
So
Peter brought up a point on here. He says, here in the UK, one of the more common unfortunate breed of homeless are ex-forces who've come out of the service and have nowhere to go. And of course, our girl Tina went on here and she let them know that a lot of our homeless are veterans too. So that's a big thing, man. So it seems to be like a global epidemic, is that these veterans come back from service and it's like they get out and it's like they have nowhere to go. Now, the same thing happened to me. When I got out of the Air Force, I was homeless. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
Now, to that end, I was homeless for about a year, but to all these things y'all talk about, like nowhere to go, who to go to, da-da-da. And I'm going to tell you like this, and I don't hold nothing against nobody during this time when I was homeless, but I mean, your friends sometimes look at you differently. Like, I don't know if I want this, I don't want to, they want to help you. They'll give you a few dollars if you were to ask. But first and foremost, I'm too proud to ask for $5 to go get a sandwich.
Yeah, I'll steal first.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm a criminal first.
That's the type of dude I was. I'm telling you, that's what I was.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, when you're doing things like that and you have no place to go, it's hard to find somebody that's just going to reach out and help you, to your point. Mm-hmm. Like, you got to really hope that you know where to go to find help, or that a stranger offers you some help and trusts you, and you better not do them wrong. Because for me, my homeboy Thomas was the one that ended up helping me, gave me a place to stay, actually gave me a vision and told me, look, if you do this and if you do that, then we can get an apartment together and we'll share. And, right now you can stay on my couch, dog. That's where you can stay. Get yourself a job, clean up, get your ass out there, do something. That's what I did. And I had a vision. I said, okay, I can really get my own shit. I can really get an apartment with my homeboy and he's helping me. And I put me back on the right path.
Yeah.
Everybody don't have that. And to your point, it can happen to anybody. Because I know, because it happened to me. I'm not there now, thank God.
Yeah.
But you just one decision.
Yeah, you are.
away from being homeless. So don't go out there and look at these people like they're trash and they're dirt and they're this and the other. I never look at them like that. I never have. I never will. But I know that there's a stigma that goes along with it. Mental health. Mm-hmm. So I know
depression.
Danielle, right, was going to talk about an incident that she saw, right, with a homeless individual. But I'm from New York, man. I done seen crazy people on the streets every day. When we went to New York in July, lady on the bus, my wife was freaked the hell out. This lady was going in, talking to herself.
I never seen anything like that.
Wilding.
New to me.
We just sitting there like,
She ain't never been on the bus in Vegas either.
She's scared. Like, get this woman a candy, a lozenge, or something.
Well, she was like in my space, and I was like, "Is she talking to me?"
She wasn't in your space.
She
was in your space. I would have did.
She was close enough. She was close enough.
She was sitting across from us.
I'm not used to that.
And she got
a whole bunch of space right there.
She was going loco.
No,
like she was like from here to here. Like like the bus
space.
Yeah,
she was on one aisle in the bus and we was on the other.
Oh yeah,
she was like
that's bus space. That's bus space.
Yeah, I was like, man, I ain't worried about this lady, but I guess she was. I didn't know that at the point at that time.
Man, I got a homeless story, man. I go to Vegas a lot. I just love Vegas. So, I like to catch the bus there. And, I was there, and there was a homeless man on there, and he just gonna get dressed right there on the bus. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
don't care who was there. But homie had about 35 nickels in his pocket.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie.
No, it's funny. So, so he took his pants off or whatever.
Oh no, all the nickels fell out.
All the nickels fell down, rolled down the whole bus.
Oh man.
Can't help you, player.
You silly.
I can't help you pick up them nickels, dog.
No, see.
You on your own, Jack.
Did you at least kick something over to him?
Nah, bro. You're from New York. You can't cooperate with that. Like, once you in the show, nigga. You gotta, hey, bro.
Yeah, you don't want to engage.
First off, this nigga took like a bird bath shower in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, this nigga, changed his whole outfit and then dropped all his nickels, dog. Like, I don't know what you had planned, bro, but I can't help you. I might give you $2. Just make up all the nickels you dropped. but
Not
it was a
funny.
lot too. That shit was loud.
Oh man.
And you know how the bus keep rolling. I know he was aggravated because as the bus turned, he heard it
Yeah,
just pushing back there.
They slide to the side.
He's so sad.
Oh, bro, there go that sandwich, nigga. You just,
Yeah.
you just dropped your
shit,
whole sandwich down.
Your whole damn sandwich is gone.
No.
I wonder where he got all them damn nickels.
But it was like, and so like you say,
People
when you
give it to you.
when you used to like, you say you from New York. I got cousins in New York too. You just ignore that shit. Like that ain't nothing. Like you expect crazy. Like I don't expect not seeing somebody crazy. Like might be a little let down if I don't see no crazy shit on the damn bus or the subway when you're in New York.
Yeah.
So
exactly, man.
Well, that's why I said we have to do something. And just so you know, veteran homelessness is at a high too. In 2020, it was 37,252 homeless veterans. So we got to go out there and check on our people. They serve, and they're serving and dying for us. And then what are we doing? Now they're just on the street and nobody's. What are we doing?
Yeah.
So again, just make sure you're pushing that information and sharing resources with them. And whether it's mental health, and we already had that conversation about it. We're laughing here right now because the stuff be funny sometimes. You got to laugh at yourself. But in real talk, make sure you're spreading the news and giving that information to people.
Yeah. And everything, man, that you can do to prevent yourself from going into that situation, right? That's the thing. Like, as I look back on my own experience, I could have did something to change that and not end up homeless. And I'm pretty sure, like we said, you one bad decision away from being homeless, whether it's sticking it out in a bad relationship with somebody, that you end up having to run from at some point because it's the only way to get away. And now you and your kids are homeless. Where maybe if you're like, man, the first time this dude hit me, maybe I should have left then because I was in a much better place. Not to put blame on anybody, because that's the last thing I want to do, especially with physical violence. But just think about, like, how can you prevent yourself from getting into that space?
Right.
Because once you're there, it's hard to get out. And the things that can happen to you, like, think about, there were people during COVID that were homeless. That could have contributed to the spread. Like you said, encampments, all these people together. Initially, they didn't have masks. And when they did get them, they had to go to clinics. And, they figured it out. Well, we got to get all these homeless people. We got to get the masks, too, because they're living in these encampments with all these other people. They're spreading disease. They're also open to a lot of violence and criminal things. I don't know if y'all remember, there was a movie, man, back in the day, the King of, I can't remember, man, the King of something. And it was basically about this homeless guy who kept going to this homeless shelter, and he finally stopped going there. And why did he stop going? Because every time in that homeless shelter, there was violence. People were robbing people. There was just people doing bad stuff to people. Remember when that flood happened in Katrina in New Orleans, and everybody went to the dome, and they talked about all the violence and stuff that was happening in it? That's what happens in a lot of homeless shelters, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah.
They get together, and some people don't want to be in the homeless shelter because of the violence. And you'll see them sleeping outside. They're like, nah, I don't want to go to the homeless shelter. I'll sleep outside.
Yeah.
But they don't want to go in there. But at the end of the day, just remember, like, it even makes it harder to find a job. How do you get out of being homeless and get a job when you homeless? You don't got no clothes.
Like you said, it's a vicious cycle, man.
Yeah, how you get out of it when you're dirty, you don't have a place to bathe, you don't have good clothes. I had to have somebody like help me out to give me a place to stay so I could do those things, and then I was able to get a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever you can do to prevent yourself from getting in that situation, please, if you're in a situation right now where you're thinking, man, I might be homeless, do something. Do whatever you can do, because once you get in, it's hard to get out, man.
Right. Well, people have to understand that too. When you talked about, just a caveat, his homelessness was before he met me, because I would have taken him in, maybe. No, maybe.
You would have been like, this bummy ass.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you was looking real bad. Yolanda, if y'all was like dating and he was homeless, like, come on.
Hey, he was not always who he is now. Let me just tell you, it takes a strong female to help grow your.
Yeah.
We help each other on that. But
She's
speaking of
taking credit for your success, bro. On the slide, you see that?
She got some. I'm giving her some.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
give it to her.
I get it. I'm messing with her.
But like you said,
if it wasn't for me,
I didn't say that. I just said
not so much.
This is pre.
Look at him now. Look what I did. She's a bastard. My work right there.
He was a bum.
No, but
I brought him to greatness. I know. Now we doing podcasts, nigga.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
y'all don't listen to nothing he's saying. But I do stress to people in general to be try to be fiscally independent of
Yes.
people. Like, we love each other. Don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? But I do believe people need to be fiscally, meaning financially, be able to take care of yourselves, you know, because you don't even know when you're in a situation, especially sometimes with women, they get in abusive relationships and they stay and they stay and they stay. And they're like, well, I don't want to be homeless. You know, that's initially where their mindset is. I can't take care of myself, you know, and I do push that because you never want to be in a situation where you have to stay because you
if
feel
you
like
have to justify that to your man, then maybe this ain't the dude.
Then that probably ain't the one for you.
Like,
just saying.
I need to have my own stuff in case something happens. This is life. I don't want to leave you, but if something happens, nigga, I got to be able to go.
Well,
and that's men too. I mean, I'm
gonna
both
say,
ways.
let me chip in for the dudes. I know you got with the women, but it's some dudes right now who just argument, leaving the light on in the restroom, not letting the toilet seat down away from being homeless. You know what I'm saying? Like,
stop it.
They on eggshells right now.
This is true too.
Yeah, it's some dudes right now just, getting talked to bad by somebody else's kids.
Right.
Can't look at ESPN.
Yep.
They just, because they know
in the business.
They know they one damn argument away of being on them streets, man, for real.
Right.
You know
Just
what I'm saying?
make sure you and have friends and just make sure you understand those resources.
Yes.
And there's people out there who do care and are willing to help. So be one
and,
of those.
And once again, SAMHSA.gov, SAMHSA.gov.
Yep.
That stands for Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. But they have a homelessness program, a homelessness resource site on their website. They have pages for that. That has a lot of great resources for anyone else outside of San Antonio. I know we gave some resources for San Antonio, but if you outside of San Antonio, there's a bunch of references for others in the United States at that website. All right?